guys, it's me again, and welcome back to another review for you. And again, it's very rare that I actually go see this on the day it comes out, but here we go. Here is my review of Moana. Now, let me give you a brief summary of the plot. Basic way, there is this island where these group of people of whatever ethnicity you want to call it. Obviously, it's like obviously it's from Hawaii, Filipino descendants are come to this island, and there is a girl named Moana there, and she is being called by the ocean to go on a quest with the demigod Maui to pretty much go and return the Heart of Stone back to its natural island. And that's pretty much all I have to say, but before I pretty much offend anybody, because honestly, it was kind of, I'm not really good with these names. I'm not good with ethnical names, so that's why I'm trying to get through the plot as fast as possible. Now, when I first heard about Moana, I thought it sounded interesting. We haven't dealt with this since pretty much Lilo and Stitch, and I was interested in seeing this and seeing how they were going to do this culture pretty much, and for the majority of the movie, I would say all of the movie, it actually followed the culture very, very well. I mean, I don't know much about the culture, but I've seen some of it, like, presented in the media and such like that, and I've seen what these people do, like, how they fend for themselves and such like that, how they pretty much build their own type of colonies, and they build traditions and stuff like that, and it's very, very interesting. So, looking at this, they got a lot of the culture down to a T, and pretty much to the point of where I was actually, like, really, really excited during this movie. It's like, okay, you got the culture down, you've got a whole mythological stance in this movie. You got a whole mythological world to explore. Okay, let's do this. Let's go. And I would be lying if I said that I found this movie kind of very predictable. And not to say that it is a bad movie, because I know that people have put their time and effort in this, because the best thing about this movie is the culture and the animation that they go for here. Of course, there is a point where, there is some 2D in there, which is really great to see, and there's also a lot of, creative ways on how they use, pretty much adapt the culture into this, like, 3D environment, where there's a bunch of tropical regions that they have to go through. Like, they get some great shots of the ocean and the stars and these high mountains and such like that, and it's very fascinating to see. And I would say, go there for the visuals, but, I like story, I like characters, I like people that I can follow. And I have a problem with Disney, modern Disney today, of how they portray their princess stories. Because not only did I get Frozen out of this, I got Frozen, Lion King, I've got Pocahontas, I've got Lilo and Stitch, of course. I've got all these Disney movies, all of the Disney, I want to say cliches, but I'm sounding way too harsh there, but yes, they are cliches, crammed into one movie. And in the first couple of minutes, they cram all they want in there. They cram someone dying. They cram in the girl who does not get along with her father, and the father also wants to stay there. And I can enjoy those cliches if the movie has good atmosphere, good characters, and just, something to distract from that, per se. So while they're still there, they're not as in your face, pretty much. And I could not get by that, because sometimes these characters would say things, repeat over and over and over again. And it was getting really repetitive, and to the point of where they played a song three times. They did a rendition of a song three times in the movie. And I was like, you got the brilliant works of Disney to do your songs for you. In fact, the guy who wrote Hamlet to do your songs for you, and you replay a song three times. In fact, I think the soundtrack, besides the instrumentals, I think there was like probably a total of maybe five original songs throughout the movie. And I know that seems like a lot, but that it just kind of, especially for a Disney musical, because you could tell that they're singing almost every 20 something minutes. Like, they really hammer in the music in this, and I wish it could be different songs, but, we only got, like, a couple of them, and one is even sung three times throughout the movie, and it just gets very repetitive, and I would say, like, the characters will save it. Disney creates some good characters. This is my Brave for me. This is my Brave, where everybody was going out of Brave saying, like, can deal with it or leave it. I was going out the same, meh, because outside of, how they portray the culture in this movie, even after coming out of the theater and seeing it, I can't really remember much about it. I mean, it's something to where I'm going to be one of those people who just finds this movie and everybody's going to find this movie great because it's Disney or because it's princessy or just because Disney is getting praised right now because it's Zootopia. And in my opinion, Zootopia is a better movie than this, even though I've learned now that its message can get kind of preachy. So, all I'm saying is to the fact that they just done so many cliches with these princess movies now, these later princess movies, that I don't know if I'm going to be able to get into them if they don't do something, if they don't do something new, or in this case, better. Because besides the cultural differences that this movie wants to portray, I don't know if this movie should downright really... I don't know if this movie was worth going through to make it a feature-length movie. I mean, you could have had this as a short and it would have been perfect. I mean, they had a short in this called Inner Workings, which was about the brain and the heart and the lungs and stuff. Pretty much an intestinal organs type version of Inside Out. And even then, between, the shorts that Disney has done, I just found it, But, because they were just doing so well with what they had with Paperman and Feast, that technology, man, that was some great technology, and you're going to do it with, basic thing. You're doing the most bare minimum of things. And that's what this is. This is the bare minimum of what Disney is capable of, because they're doing so much better with their non-Disney princess films. Like, they did one with pretty much video game characters, they did one with superheroes, they did one with animals with racial tensions. They can pretty much have their variety of stories. They can go so far with that than they can with their average Disney princess film. And having it also be a buddy road trip movie does not help either, because I can tell beat for beat what was going to happen, and it was not fun, because honestly it wasn't really making me laugh, because there were jokes that I've pretty much have seen before, and I want to give this movie credit for giving us a cultural defiance of just a new tradition in what I can present as pretty much introducing kids to. But I can't. I mean, I could give it credit for that, but outside of that, I can't really think much of this movie to really recommend. I mean, you could go see it for the animation, because the animation is downright beautiful. It's gorgeous. I mean, Disney and Pixar are on the top of their A game when it comes to realistic animation, but I want something to where I want a princess movie so I won't have to predict it. That's what I want. Because the last one I thought was actually really good was The Princess and the Frog. Not only because it had 2D animation, but because I really like its story. I really like its characters. And every time they come up with a new Disney film, it feels like the exact same story. Not exact same story, but exact same story beats the exact same characters. And it's just something to where I'm kind of a little bit tired of. I'm tired. I'm beat down, Disney. You're doing so much better with your non-Disney princess things. For Christ's sake, your movies, when you were making your other movies, were better. Your other princess movies that you did in the past were better. I believe you can do better, Disney. But will they listen to me? No, because they're making money. Or I don't know. Maybe Doctor Strange will eat up their money and this will just do okay. Because this is hitting on a very niche audience. And even when I saw the trailers, it was kind of that way where it wasn't grasping me. And I finally found the reason why. It's because I've seen this before. So with that said, I'm going to give this. I'm going to give this a 5. Well, no, I shouldn't give it a 5. I don't know. It's somewhere between a 6 and a 5. I'm going to give it a 5.5. You're not going to see this on my best of. But because there's been other movies that have toppled that so far. But I'm just hoping that Disney will do something new with princess movies. I don't know what their next one is going to be. Maybe Giganta. I have no idea, but hopefully they'll do something new. So, thank you guys for watching, and as always, JC Animation Critic out. See you guys later. Take care.